She told her boss, "My boyfriend pays all my bills while I sleep with you. It's perfect." His secretary heard and told his wife. I found out when his wife called me. She got fired, lost our apartment, and had to move back in with her ex-roommate. 3 months ago, I, 28 male, was living with my girlfriend of 4 years, Meredith. Today, she's sleeping on an air mattress in her old roommate's living room, and I'm in a new apartment with an actual view of something other than a dumpster. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Meredith and I met at a friend's birthday party. She was charming, ambitious, worked in marketing at a tech startup. I was immediately drawn to her confidence. We moved in together after 2 years, split the rent on a decent one-bedroom in the city. Life was good. Or so I thought. The first red flag? Her sudden promotion 6 months ago. She went from junior marketing associate to senior account manager overnight. No interview process, no announcement, just suddenly making 30% more money and working directly under the VP of sales, Derek Chen. "Baby, this is huge for us," she said that night, popping champagne I'd bought for our anniversary the week before. "Derek says I have real potential. He's going to mentor me personally." I should have known, but I was happy for her, proud even. The late nights started immediately. Client dinners, strategy sessions, networking events. Always with Derek, always ending after midnight. She'd come home smelling like wine and his cologne, something expensive and obnoxious that lingered in our bedroom. "You're being paranoid," she'd say when I asked questions. "This is how you advance in corporate. You wouldn't understand." That stung. See, I work in IT infrastructure. Not flashy, but it pays well. Well enough that when Meredith suggested I cover more of our expenses so she could invest in her wardrobe for her new role, I agreed. Soon I was paying our full rent, utilities, her car payment. She covered groceries. Sometimes. The turning point came on a Tuesday. I'd taken a half day to go to a dentist appointment that got canceled last minute. My gut had been screaming at me for weeks, so I decided to do something I'd never done before. I went to her office to surprise her with lunch. The receptionist knew me, gave me a friendly wave. I was heading toward her section when I saw Derek's office. The door was closed, but I could hear their voices. I couldn't make out the words, just the tone. It was a low, intimate murmur, punctuated by her laughter, a soft, private sound I hadn't heard directed at me in months. I stood there for a minute, feeling like a fool. Then I saw them leave his office together. He put his hand on the small of her back, a gesture so casual and familiar it made my stomach clench. They walked right past the hallway I was in, completely absorbed in their own world, heading for the elevators. They never even saw me. I didn't need to hear a confession. I'd just seen it. I backed away slowly, made it to the elevator, and went home. That night, she came home at 11 p.m., chattering about a brutal strategy session. "How was your day?" she asked, already scrolling through her phone. "Fine," I said, quiet. She didn't even look up. I spent the next week in a fog, kept replaying that image in my head. Started noticing things I'd ignored. How she'd angle her phone away when texting. How she'd shower immediately when she got home. How she'd stopped initiating any physical contact months ago. Then Natalie Chen called. It was a Wednesday afternoon. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. "Is this Jason Torres?" Her voice was steady but cold. "Yes, this is Natalie Chen, Derek Chen's wife. I think we need to talk about your girlfriend and my husband." My stomach dropped. "I'm listening." "My husband's secretary, Patricia, has been aware of some unprofessional behavior. Yesterday, she came to me directly. She overheard Meredith bragging to a coworker about her arrangement with Derek." I sat down hard on my couch. "What kind of arrangement?" "The kind where," and I quote, "my boyfriend pays all my bills while I get to have fun with you. It's literally perfect." Patricia was disgusted. She felt you should know, and she felt I should know. Silence. Then, "He's been careless for a while. I've had my own suspicions, but this is the proof I needed." We met at a coffee shop downtown. Natalie was exactly what you'd expect from a corporate lawyer married to a tech executive. Polished, precise, and absolutely furious beneath her calm exterior. This wasn't a woman with a pre-packaged folder of evidence. This was a woman building a case in real time. We compared notes. I told her what I saw, the late nights, the sudden shift in finances. She pulled out her phone and showed me screenshots of their company credit card statements she'd gotten access to. Derek had been filing their dinners as client entertainment, hotel rooms as team-building retreats. He's been doing this for years, Natalie continued. Different women, always subordinates. I've been gathering what I can for my divorce attorney, waiting for something concrete. Your girlfriend and his secretary just gave it to me on a silver platter. What do you need from me? She smiled. It wasn't pleasant. Nothing I can't get myself, but I thought you should know what's coming. Derek's going to be fired, his reputation destroyed. And Meredith, she's going down with him. How? Consensual relationships between executives and direct reports violate company policy. The fact that he fast-tracked her promotion, gave her raises, approved inflated bonuses, that's textbook quid pro quo. I'm meeting with the CEO and general counsel tomorrow. This will trigger an internal investigation. It might take a week or two, but trust me, they're finished here. She was right. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks of me sleeping on the couch and acting like everything was normal while she complained about a hostile work environment, Meredith came home in tears. Mascara running, hair a mess. They suspended us, she wailed, collapsing on the couch next to me. Both of us, pending investigation, that witch Patricia went to HR. Said Derek was showing favoritism. Can you believe it? I paused the office. What exactly did they say? Something about inappropriate relationships and policy violations. It's such crap. We were consenting adults. So you were sleeping with him. The crying stopped. She looked at me, calculating. It's not what you think. Really, because I think you were having an affair with your married boss while I paid all your bills. Her face went white. Who told you that? Doesn't matter. What matters is that you need to leave. You're kicking me out? I'm about to lose my job. No, Meredith. You're losing your job because you were sleeping with your boss. You're losing your apartment because you cheated on me. See the difference? She tried everything. Tears, anger, seduction, even threatened to sue me for illegal eviction. Go ahead, I said. I'm sure a lawyer would love to hear how you can't afford rent because you lost the job where you were exchanging sex for promotions. She left that night, stayed with a friend. Came back the next day with her brother to get her things. Tried one more time to manipulate me. You're really going to throw away 4 years? She asked, clutching a box of her stuff. I didn't throw away anything. You did. Every night you came home smelling like another man's cologne. Her brother, Mike, at least had the decency to look uncomfortable. Come on, Mer, let's go. This isn't over, she hissed. But it was. Update 1. Remember how I said Meredith threatened this wasn't over? Yeah, she meant it. Once she was officially fired the following week, a switch flipped. The desperation set in. That's when I started getting fraud alerts. Cards I'd never opened in my name. She'd had access to all my information, of course. 4 years of living together, she knew my SSN, my mother's maiden name, everything. It wasn't a long-planned con. It was a panicked, vengeful spree. I spent days on the phone, filing reports, freezing my credit. The total damage? Almost $30,000 across 6 cards. Then came the smear campaign. Suddenly, our mutual friends were getting texts about how I was abusive and controlling, how I'd kicked her out with nowhere to go after her career was sabotaged. She conveniently left out the affair part. Sarah, one of our mutual friends, forwarded me the messages. Just thought you should see what she's saying, she wrote. For what it's worth, nobody who actually knows you believes this crap. But some did. I lost a few friends, guys I'd known since college who chose to believe her version. It hurt more than I expected. The worst part? She was still texting me, daily, oscillating between begging for another chance and threatening to destroy me. You ruined my life, one text read. Derek's wife took everything in the divorce? He can't even help me now. I didn't realize I was responsible for your boyfriend's divorce, I replied. He wasn't my boyfriend. God, you're so jealous and insecure. This is why I had to find comfort elsewhere. I stopped responding after that. Meanwhile, I was dealing with the apartment. We'd both been on the lease, which didn't expire for 6 months. I could afford it solo, but barely. Started looking for a new place, something actually in my name only. Then I got a call from my landlord. Jason, I need to talk to you about Meredith. My heart sank. What now? She came by yesterday, trying to get a key. Said she was still on the lease and had rights to the apartment. When I refused, she made some allegations. What kind of allegations? that you were holding her belongings hostage, that you'd changed the locks illegally. She threatened to sue me for enabling an illegal eviction. I explained the situation. Sent him the texts where she admitted to the affair, where she'd agreed to move out. He was sympathetic but firm. Look, I like you, Jason. You've been a good tenant. But I can't have this drama. If you want to stay, you need to get her off the lease. Otherwise, I'm not renewing. Getting someone off a lease when they don't want to be? Nearly impossible. Unless... I called Natalie Chen. Jason, how are you holding up? Not great. Meredith's making things difficult. I explained the situation. She listened, then said the magic words, I might be able to help. Turns out, in discovery for her divorce, Natalie had found more evidence. Not just of Derek and Meredith's affair, but of Meredith using the company credit card for personal expenses. Expensive dinners she claimed were client meetings when the clients were actually in different cities. Spa treatments written off as team building. It's corporate fraud, Natalie said simply. The company could press charges. They probably won't. Bad publicity, but Meredith doesn't know that. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that Meredith might be more cooperative if she understood the full scope of her situation. I'm not proud of what happened next, but I was tired. Tired of being the nice guy, tired of taking the high road while she tried to destroy my life. I had my lawyer, yes, I had to get a lawyer, contact Meredith's lawyer. Laid out the credit card fraud, the identity theft, the corporate fraud Natalie had uncovered. Made it clear that cooperation on the lease issue would go a long way toward me not pursuing criminal charges. She signed off on the lease the next day. Update 2. So I thought it was over. Meredith was off the lease, I'd found a new apartment, the credit card mess was slowly getting resolved. I was even starting to date again. Nothing serious, just coffee meetings that reminded me there were normal, non-manipulative people in the world. Then Derek Chen showed up at my office. It was a Thursday afternoon. Our receptionist called back, sounding confused. Jason, there's a Derek Chen here to see you, says it's personal. I knew I should have said no, send him away. But curiosity won. He looked rough. The power suit was gone, replaced by jeans and a polo that had seen better days. The cockiness I'd heard in his voice that day in his office was completely absent. 5 minutes, I said, leading him to a conference room. I know you hate me, he started. Good instinct. I deserve that. I deserve worse. But I need your help. I almost laughed. You need my help? That's rich. It's Meredith. She's blackmailing me. Now he had my attention. Explain. The story came out in rushes. After they were both fired, after Natalie took him for everything in the divorce, Meredith had continued to contact him. At first, he thought she wanted to continue their relationship. But no. She recorded us, he said, looking sick. Videos, audio, everything. Says if I don't pay her $50,000, she'll release them. Post them everywhere. Send them to any company that might hire me. And you're telling me this why? Because she's probably doing the same to you. Or will, once she's done with me. I leaned back. I never slept with her after I found out. There's nothing to record. From before, when you were together, did she ever? He trailed off, but I got it. My blood ran cold. There had been times, early in our relationship, when she'd been particularly enthusiastic about certain positions that involved her phone being nearby. I'd thought nothing of it then. Even if she does, I said slowly, that's revenge porn. It's illegal. Only if you can prove she posted it. She's not stupid, Jason. She'll use VPNs, fake accounts. By the time you track it down, the damage is done. He was right. I hated that he was right. What do you want from me? Work together. Pool resources. Take her down before she takes us down. I stared at him. This man who'd slept with my girlfriend, who'd helped destroy my relationship, who was now asking for my help. Get out. Jason, get out. He left. But the seed was planted. That night, I went through my devices, checked cloud storage I'd forgotten about, found nothing definitive but enough gaps to make me nervous. I called Natalie again. We'd developed an odd friendship through all this. Bonds forged in mutual betrayal. She's escalating, Natalie said after I explained. Classic narcissistic collapse. Lost her job, her home, her financial support. Now she's lashing out. What do I do? Document everything. Every text, every email, every interaction. And Jason, it might be time to be proactive rather than reactive. Meaning? meaning maybe we help Meredith understand that mutually assured destruction works both ways. The plan was simple. Meredith thought she was the only one with leverage, but between Natalie's divorce discovery, my documentation of the credit card fraud, and Patricia's willingness to testify about what she'd overheard, we had a different story to tell. I had my lawyer draft a cease and desist letter. Not just for the harassment, but specifically mentioning the potential distribution of intimate content, made it clear that any such action would result in immediate criminal charges for revenge porn, plus civil suits for the credit fraud and defamation. The key was Patricia. Turns out she'd been documenting Derek's behavior for years, not just with Meredith, but with multiple women. She'd stayed quiet out of fear for her job, but now that Derek was gone, she was ready to talk. "I have emails," Patricia told us over coffee. Derek bragging to other executives about his conquests, including details about Meredith that, well, let's just say they paint a very different picture than the one she's trying to sell. We sent the cease and desist, along with a summary of what Patricia was prepared to testify to. Made it clear that if Meredith pursued her blackmail schemes, she'd be facing a lot more than just revenge porn charges. The response came 2 days later. Not from Meredith, from her lawyer. A negotiated surrender. She'd drop all claims, cease all contact, and destroy any recordings if we agreed not to pursue criminal charges for the fraud. "Take the deal," Natalie advised. "You want this over? Not prolonged." I did. Update 3. It's been 3 months since I signed that agreement. 3 months of blessed silence from Meredith. Here's where everyone landed. Last I heard, he was working as a consultant, code for unemployed executive. Natalie got the house, most of the assets, and full custody of their kids. He's living in a studio apartment, probably still wondering how his perfect life fell apart so fast. Zero sympathy from me. Patricia got a job as an executive assistant at a Fortune 500 company, with a 40% pay raise and a boss who actually respects her. She sent me a thank you card last month for helping her find the courage to speak up. Thriving. She made partner at her firm, partly thanks to the attention her handling of the divorce brought. We still grab coffee occasionally. She's dating someone new, a pediatrician who doesn't even have a secretary, she jokes. This is where it gets interesting. Remember that title about her moving in with her ex-roommate? Well, my friend Sarah works at the same coffee shop where Meredith's former roommate, Becca, is a regular. Small world, smaller city. Last week, Sarah overheard Becca on the phone, complaining about her nightmare roommate situation. Apparently, Meredith had shown up 2 months ago, begging for a place to crash just for a few days. Told Becca some sob story about her ex-boyfriend, me, sabotaging her career out of jealousy. Becca, being a decent person, let her move into the living room. Now, Meredith's been there for 2 months, hasn't paid a dime in rent, and recently got fired from her new job, a marketing position at a small firm that she'd gotten by lying about why she left her previous company. She keeps bringing different guys home, Becca was saying. Acts like she owns the place. I found out she's been telling people it's her apartment and I'm the one sleeping on the couch. I'm gonna have to evict her. The cycle continues, just with someone else's life now. As for me, I'm good. Better than good, actually. The new apartment is smaller, but it's mine. All mine. No lingering cologne smell. No mysterious charges on my credit cards. No coming home to an empty bed and lies. Started seeing someone new last month. Her name's Amy. She's a nurse and she thinks people who cheat are emotional terrorists. Her words, not mine, but I'm not disagreeing. The trust issues are real, though. I check my credit report obsessively. I'm weird about sharing passwords. When Amy works late shifts, there's a part of me that wonders. It's not fair to her, and I'm working on it. Therapy helps. Last week, I ran into Mike, Meredith's brother, at the grocery store. Awkward doesn't begin to cover it. But he surprised me. He shifted uncomfortably, avoiding my eyes. "Hey man, look, about my sister. I know she put you through hell, yeah?" I waited. "It's okay, man." "It's not," he mumbled, finally looking at me. "For what it's worth, she's on her own now. My parents cut her off. They're done." "What happened?" I asked, genuinely curious. He sighed, the weight of it all on his face. "The thing with our grandmother. Grandma asked her to deposit a check. Mer deposited it straight into her own account. tried to claim it was a misunderstanding. It was the last straw. We parted with a handshake, no big apology, just a shared, uncomfortable acknowledgement of the hurricane that was his sister. He was just another person, caught in her path of destruction. I wish I could say this story has a neat ending, that Meredith learned her lesson, that Derek publicly apologized, that I got some grand moment of vindication. But life's messier than that. What I got instead was freedom. Freedom from someone who saw me as nothing more than a wallet and a safety net. Freedom from constant lies and manipulation. Freedom to rebuild my life on my own terms. The credit's mostly repaired. The friend group's split but stabilizing. The therapy's ongoing but helping. And Meredith? She's someone else's problem now. Becca's, specifically. Though probably not for much longer. Sometimes the best revenge isn't some elaborate scheme. Sometimes it's just stepping back and letting someone face the natural consequences of their actions. Meredith lost her job, her home, her relationship, and her reputation. Not because I plotted against her, but because that's what happens when you build your life on lies and manipulation. Would I do anything differently? Maybe. Probably should have trusted my gut earlier. Definitely should have questioned the sudden promotion. But you live and you learn. If you're reading this and recognizing red flags in your own relationship, the late nights, the deflection, the sudden changes, trust your instincts. Don't wait for someone else's spouse to call and confirm what you already know. And if you're a Meredith reading this, well, good luck with that.